Wow, look at that background. I said, look at that background. Holy cow.
That's not mine.
That's cool. I'm going to make you the co-host. Cool.
Okay. Thank you.
You got people there helping you?
This is JC's background.
JC?
And we just rushed to like change and get it
What's his initial stand for? I never asked him. Is
all
it
set up for
Jesus
that we
Jesus
got all
Christ?
set up for the day. Hi, David.
Hey, Dave, how are you today?
Good to see you back on this week.
We had Trevor too. I didn't know where he went.
Hey, Dave.
Never.
I got a visitor going to be on here in a minute.
Nice.
Look at you racking up the points.
Love it.
That's not why I'm doing it, because I think this would be good for him. He does
Oh,
my
that's good.
does all my Facebook marketing for my floor coatings company.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, you were talking to me about him. That's
And
right.
He does about 100 does it for about 100 companies.
Sweet.
So he'd be a good one to get in.
Sandy, how are you today?
I am great. I have a question.
Yeah, what's that?
I just noticed if this is a really cool coincidence, if it is, there's a Facebook post that was done by Collaborate that says Sadie from Heavenly Sunshine Property Maintenance want a hotel room. Is there a Sadie?
There's a
Oh.
typo.
Is that my alias?
I guess so. I'm
I
probably
was
the
like,
one
you
that
did
typed that.
win, didn't you? I didn't even.
I
touch
don't
the
want
mark.
Sadie. I don't want Sadie getting credit for Sandy.
Is there a Sadie that works there?
No,
Better go smack her around a little bit and get that hotel room from her.
I don't know. Maybe Kurt will take it.
Ah.
So
How is Kurt today?
he's probably, today is Wednesday, so he's probably doing business on the golf course.
I don't know. He does like to golf. That I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say that that's his therapy day.
We were thinking a little bit about maybe doing a golfing like the day before we do the Collaborate live event here in October. Like maybe go and doing a little bit of golfing because the place we're going to have it at has a golf course.
Okay,
I haven't decided that yes or no yet. Angela and I haven't even had really time to talk about it. So it's
Ooh,
gonna be like
site, site visits are always fun for hotels.
yeah. How about you, David? What's new with you? Just still plugging along, got your busy season going?
Yeah, we're busy. Well, last week we did a new kind of floor that we've never done before. So our manufacturer flew somebody in from Denver to train us how to do it. So
I
That was
asked you
good.
that before. Your manufacturer, is that Resin Works?
yes,
Do you know my office in Denver is in there right across the street? When I was there in Denver a couple weeks ago, I saw Resin Works. I was like, sweet. And I was going to go in and say hello to the guys because I love them. They're super nice guys. I just was too busy. Plus, I was like super sick. Like I was very nasal.
they'll be at the Huge.
Yeah. They had a booth right next to me like 2
Yep.
years ago, and super cool guys. Yeah.
When the visitor gets in, I
Yeah.
brought him to the Huge, and he'll have a booth at the Huge this year.
How many states do you have businesses in, Dave?
Just 2.
Two. I was like,
Colorado.
answer to
It's
that
not-
too.
It sounds like it's one of those things where you need to do a mountain goat. And how many does Dave have?
Well, yeah, we're looking to expand into Vegas. I've kind of slow rolled it because we're talking about acquisitions today, and I guess now's a great time to start. I've started from the ground up, and I've moved into new cities with acquisitions. I think I like the acquisition move better than starting from the ground up. But it's got to be the right acquisition. I don't want to acquire a residential company. I want to acquire a commercial company. So that just makes it a little quicker to, you can bring in the right processes and stuff. And, you can always, market to previous customers and bring them in. That's kind of always nice too. So Yeah, kind of slow roll in Vegas. So I guess when we get to Vegas, I always say I'll never work in California. That's like a whole different country. But Texas, I'd be down for working in Texas. So I don't know. We'll see. My wife though, she likes to put the brakes on. You know how all women tell men to slow down. That's just kind of how it goes. We bought 2 businesses last year and 2 houses, and she's like, no more. I'm like, oh, I want to go buy some more, but she's probably right for now. So,
All right, Dave, my visitor in here is Nellie that just got on, so.
what's up, Nelly? Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Good to meet you, David. Hey, Angela. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you guys for having me.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for coming on. This
Yeah,
is
thanks
great.
for being on.
Thank
So
you.
if you guys go to the chat and type your name and your business, that would be good. It always helps with, I want to give you guys credit for showing up here. Make sure we don't miss anybody. Like last week, I had to watch the show. Actually, I watched the whole show yesterday. It was a good show last week, Angela. Good job. Like,
Thanks.
I was
some
impressed.
I had some great helpers, great contributors. So it was a good community discussion.
Yeah, that was cool. Nicholas, how are you today? Do we call you Nick or Nicholas?
Either or, depending on the day, it changes.
I think I ask you that all the time, and I never remember.
I get
We're
that.
hanging out. Travis and I had a session this morning. We usually work here for a few hours, and we were hanging out with David from David Bertrand. Nice to talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the form on his website wasn't working quite right or whatever. So anyway, it's nice to talk to 2 Canadians in the same day. It's gonna be a good day.
Sure.
Hey,
Yeah, man. I was watching the show last week. You had some great insights. Thanks, Nick. That was a really good show, Angela. I'm like, man, she runs it well. She does a good job. So I shouldn't even be here. I should just let you guys hang out. It seems like you guys had a lot of laughter and a lot of fun. So that was super cool.
For sure, yeah.
We did.
But I guess raise your hands if you've acquired a business. Anybody here have acquired a business before? You have, Nelly? What type of business have you acquired?
An epoxy flooring business.
Oxyflooring? How'd that work out for you? Are you still working it out?
It worked out well. There were a lot of kinks at first. It was definitely a learning experience. But we've managed to unkink pretty much most of those things, and we're on track now. We're doing well.
Is that business there in Atlanta?
No, it's in Florida,
Oh, in Florida? Okay.
South Florida, Palm Beach area.
Okay. David, have you guys acquired any businesses before?
no, I've had a chance for a couple that just weren't a really good fit. They were a competitor who was the $99 cleaner, and that's not my customer.
Yep.
I'm
That's-
$999 cleaner.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah. How about you, Antonio? You guys acquired any businesses or no?
Well, so right now, just some window cleaning, pressure washing. We're also looking in the lines of acquiring more. But yet again, I mean, we're just trying to tackle the market differently. And as soon as we come up with a good game plan of how to tackle it, then we'll start going forward with acquiring a lot of, to be honest with you. So that's what I'm
Cool.
looking at.
Exciting. Fun. Sandy, how about Kurt? Has he acquired any businesses?
Some people have approached us, but it's not been a good fit. Like it was another residential company. And like David just said, like their prices were cheaper than ours.
Are you guys mostly residential or are you? I know you have a big FedEx account, but do you
Yeah,
do
we're-
residential
we're-
besides that?
We're heavy on commercial. We do St. Jude. It's a children's hospital. Their headquarters are here in Memphis.
Okay.
In fact, my biggest challenge yesterday was our estimator. We got another big project for them, which meant I had to cancel all the residential jobs for the next month.
Oh, that's no fun, huh?
No, that's not when you're the one bear, but I did plead my case with a couple of people.
Recording in progress.
Ooh, Nelly. Came in here with a big old echo, like a boom.
Sorry, apologize.
How are you today, Nelly?
Oh, he just left.
No, I'm here. I switched from my phone to my computer.
Okay,
Sorry.
there we go. All right. I was wondering what was going on. That's probably what it was. So that's good. Like you guys have said no to people. There's probably So I acquired a business in Phoenix. And a lot of the pressure washers actually know the guy, Jeremiah Green. He started a window cleaning and pressure washing company in here in Phoenix, and he was like ready to move. Like it was like a fire sale. He's like, man, I want to get out of town. And his business was doing about 300,000 a year, and he was asking 90 for it, which is actually a pretty darn good price. He didn't really have much assets. The benefit of buying a business that has assets is you want to put more dollars on the asset in than the customer list, because the customer list, you can only depreciate that over, man, I don't even know how many years is it. It's like 10 years or something, right? But like if it's trucks or equipment, you can depreciate all that in the first year. So buying that business, it was kind of good. He had some really good prices. So it was kind of opposite of what you were saying, David and Sandy, is he was charging more than actually we were charging at the time for customers. So we're like, sweet, we're getting a business that charges what they should charge. This is fantastic. The downside was it was like 99% residential, and we are a mostly commercial business, but I don't know, we still went with it. I guess, we went with it. And what I liked too is he had some internet presence. So he had some pretty good website presence. And I mean, you guys all know me, I love digital real estate. So when we bought South Mountain Window Cleaning, I've optimized it to actually show up. Now it shows up in Prescott, it shows up in Flagstaff, it shows up in Scottsdale, and it shows up in Phoenix. It's usually number 1 or 2 in Phoenix if you're searching for window cleaners in Phoenix. So I've actually built the website presence of it pretty good. So, people will call, South Mountain Window Cleaning or any of my other companies as they see them. So for me, my biggest value in that business was they had a good web presence. I don't know if anybody here knows Jim Dubois. I know a few of you probably do. Window cleaning, what's the name of it? Window cleaning wealth, yeah, or window washing wealth. He actually called me the other day. He's like, man, I'm really wanting to buy this customer. And he's like, they literally have no internet presence. They don't do any marketing. He's like, it's all residential, it's like 2 guys. So like for me, like there's a lot more value when you see some presence online and you see a map listing and you see like their organic traffic and all that stuff. Because then I think people make the mistake, like some people like would have bought this company, South Mountain Window Cleaning, that I bought, and then they would have changed the name to Professional Window Cleaning and just closed down the website and closed down the Google Maps listing. And I'm like, absolutely not, man. Hell no. Like I want more traffic coming to me, right? It's just like back in the day, I'm sure Dave, you use Yellow Pages. I use Yellow Pages when I started, but like the more spaces you could get on the stupid Yellow Pages, the more calls you'd get. So
And the sad thing is that it worked,
I know, right? Yellow Pages work great.
especially for old people who is our customer.
Yeah, we still get phone calls from some of our old Yellow Page ads, and it's like, how old is that phone book? Like, you just still have it. It's always the
That's
oldest.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
know when I started, like I remember working for somebody else and I saved so much money to start. And the first thing I did is like, all right, I put a Yellow Pages ad in Phoenix and then in Scottsdale. And I think there was 3 or 4 here. And I remember thinking, man, it was $2,000 a month. And I'm like, whoa. But like, I think I got a half-page ad or something. And I still remember when my first call came in from that, I was like, yeah, I was so excited. I was paying that bill, right? Trevor, you came on a little bit late, or JC, did either of you guys acquired a business before in your business?
I have been acquired, but I have never been on the acquiring side.
You have been acquired, so you sold your business.
I sold my business in 2016,
What type
And
of
I'm-
business was that?
pressure washing.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you regret it, or are you happy you sold it?
That's a long story.
It's like, this is a story.
That's what we're here for.
Tune
Anthony, you
in
know
in
the
about
story?
an hour and
Yep.
15 minutes, and you'll probably get some of it. But yeah, it ended very poorly.
No, it's too bad.
But it put me here, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, there's paths in life. Well, all right, maybe I'll get
It's a very long story. I'd love for you to hear it.
okay, cool. How about
Trevor's
you?
on my show later today, so we'll dive into the story. If y'all want
Oh,
to
all
watch.
right. Better tune in. Okay. I always miss Angela's show, and like, I don't know how or why, but it just doesn't work in my time, and I feel so bad. But maybe
What is Angela's show? I
That's
don't know
because
about
you
that.
don't know what time it is.
you're
What is
probably
Angela's-
right. I never know what time things are. Anybody get a text from me at 12:30 a.m. this morning? Like everybody here? Ugh.
Dave has a little bit of a problem with time zones, especially because Arizona is not in daylight savings time.
What is
Well,
An-
yeah,
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 What's
so
Angela's show?
okay, so yeah, what's your show?
So I have a show on Turf Step Radio, and it's also live on Facebook every Wednesday at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern.
Okay.
And Trevor is my guest today.
Whoop, whoop.
Nice.
Hey, what's going on, Nick? All right, so we're
What's
just
up,
talking
guys?
about time zones. So yeah, I'm time zone challenged. I never had this problem because I've lived in Arizona my whole life, but now I'm actually working with people outside of my state, and I can't figure anything out. So you got a text message from me at 12:30 this morning saying Plata is starting right now.
Is that why
Dan-
I got that?
Yeah, Dan Plata texts me, seriously, dude, right now? I'm like, I'm an idiot. So here's the story, right? So on my program, it's called Textedly. I can choose Pacific time or I can choose Mountain, but I'm neither, right? Right now I'm Pacific, but some other times I'm Mountain. So I guess I chose Mountain. I don't know. So when I have to do it, I have to think an hour ahead. So instead of me sending that out, it's 11:30 my time. Instead of sending out 11:30 a.m., I'm doing 12:30, and I'm thinking, well, it's a.m. It's not 12:30 a.m. So sorry, guys. Anyway, so JC, have you ever acquired or been acquired?
So I did acquire a company 4 or 5 years ago. It was a smaller company. I mean, he was doing decent. I think he probably did 150, $200,000, but he didn't have anything straight, any of the books right. And I think I ended up walking away with it for 16 grand. And we still service those clients today. And that was definitely a good deal on that one. We tried acquiring a landscape lighting company last year, and their numbers are just way off. I think they did $1,200,000. No, it's like $1,020,000, and they wanted $1 million for it.
Yeah.
They were retiring, and they just had, it's just the problem is they have so much love for it, and they think it's worth 30 times what it really is. So it didn't work out.
Yep. I had a guy just call me. We called my office, but then I called him back about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's like, I've got an amazing business. I grow by like, I don't know, $9,000 a year. I'm like, okay, what is it? And he's like, we do a ton of the car dealerships. And I was like, well, how many employees do you have? Well, it's me and my wife. And I'm like, okay, so now I'm buying a problem, right? Like if he had employees, if he had assets, if he had trucks, and I think his gross sales were like 90,000. He was asking 300. And I'm like, so I was like, do you mind if I like try to help you understand this a little bit? So he was nice, and I talked to him a bit, but I still think he wants 300 grand for something that's worth like, 40. So anyway, Mr. Thurston, Nick, have you acquired a business or have you been acquired?
Yeah, I've acquired a couple.
Yeah.
First one was another high-rise window cleaning company, about
That's
the
right.
same size as us. So yeah, so we doubled in size overnight, which was nice.
That's how you guys
They were-
Century Pyramid, right?
Yeah, so we were a pyramid. We bought Century. They were about $1 million in revenue at the time, and we paid like $375 for him, something like that. Granted, he was in a bind to sell because he had a work comp claim that was going to put him out of business anyways. So kind of worked out. He was asking like 500, and we talked him down. So that was a good one. And then more recently, we bought the small company in up north a little bit in Sacramento from me.
That one's mostly residential, right?
Well, we want to focus on residential with it. About 50% of the revenue when we bought it was one large commercial account.
Oh, yeah. Scary,
yeah.
right? That's kind of
Scary, but luckily now that I know them pretty well, it's a hospital system that she has no interest in ever bidding anything, which is nice. So so I know that one's not going anywhere, but we are working on beefing up the residential side. But yeah, that one they were doing 275, 250 in revenue. Is that right? maybe it was a little bit more than that, maybe like 300. We did pay 150 for it, but because he did have good margins. So,
Oh, yeah, it doesn't sound
yeah.
bad. Plus, it seems
Yeah.
like there's a lot more opportunity there too, right?
Ton of opportunity. Yeah, the opportunity with that one was he had 0 web presence, 0 marketing, 0 advertising. So we're like, if we could just do a little bit extra, we should be able to beef this thing up. So
You're like, I know a guy, right?
yeah, exactly. So we got
That's
you working on that.
Yeah, we did acquire a business last year that I regret. It was in a city, Prescott here, and it was all residential. I wasn't really working in the business, and I kind of let Marilyn handle, the negotiations and stuff. And I think we paid too much for it, and it was all residential, and the guy charged too less for not enough for his services. I think we paid $90,000 for it, and I don't think our gross sales last year were. I know they were nothing near that. So we've put a lot of time and effort into marketing that city and building up our brand, and we've actually done a pretty good job since then. But had I do it again, I probably wouldn't have bought that business. So that's my mistake. Is I didn't focus enough time and attention on it. I had a lot of money in the bank, and I'm like, yeah, let's go buy a business and let's send. We had a guy who's working for us who wanted to go up there, and we're like, yeah, let's send Ken up there and let's do it. So I probably would have not done that one again. And then my most recent one was buying my biggest competitor in Flagstaff, and that's worked out extremely well because we did snow removal last year. As a lot of you guys know, we snowed a ton up there, so it's actually doing pretty good. So I don't know. I mean, I guess they're not always cut out what they're cut out to be. Sometimes some are more work, sometimes some are less work. We got Jonathan on here. What's going on, my man?
Oh, man.
It's good to see you. How about you? Have you acquired or been acquired before?
We're actually in the process of acquiring 2 companies up at the Pacific Northwest of all places. So, yeah.
What type of companies?
Fire and flood restoration.
Oh, you were talking to me about that while you were here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Super, super cool companies. Each of them are doing between 5 to 7 million. And that's where they tend to get stuck. And so I've been helping other fire and flood restoration companies get unstuck from that and get out of that weird purgatory. And so these came available and I was like, let's snatch them up.
Cool. Well, can you help me get stuck at 7 million and then get unstuck? That would be a great problem to solve, right?
We're going to fix that in the coming weeks, man.
Yeah. So I hired Jonathan to come in and be our business consultant, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, man.
Super stoked about that. So we were talking about traction a month or so ago, right? And I don't want to be the guy that talks about the stuff and doesn't do it. So I'm like, Jonathan, can you help me with this? And he's like, yeah. So super excited about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, things that a lot of people don't know or realize as far as acquiring businesses is, I mean, first of all, you got to be a friendly person, right? If you're a grump or a grouch, or you're that competitor and you don't like your other competition and you're just simply not a nice person, I don't think anybody's going to want to be nice to you and sell them your business, right? So I think having a good spirit and being friendly with your competition, at least that's always been my attitude. And then I've sent out emails. Like I think I emailed 20 or 30 companies in Las Vegas about acquiring them. And they all said no, which I'm fine with. But a few months later, I literally got 2 or 3 emails back of people like, oh, I know a guy who's selling his business here in Vegas. And I actually flew out there and met with 2 of them. But I didn't pull the trigger. Just simply because they were asking too much and it was way more residential than commercial, which wasn't really what I was looking for. So, just being proactive and proactively getting your name out there and being nice. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always the guy, like if I'm going down the street and I see a window cleaner, I always pull over and go over and talk to the guy. And I'm not like, come work for me or anything. I'm just like, hey, who are you? Who do you work for? It's nice to meet you. You know what I mean? And I know in our BBB group or our AMP group, right, Jonathan? It's hard to call it AMP.
I know. So weird after all these years.
Yeah. Angela and I say that all the time. Is it BBB or is it AMP? Anyway, there's somebody in that group who always talks about going out and actively sending emails to their competitors Do you know who it is? I can't remember who I'm thinking. Is it Jim Dubois?
I know Jim does it.
Jason Everett does it.
Jason, yeah, Jason Everett. He's not Ant, but yeah, there's a few people. I think it was one of those $10,000 ideas from like way back in the day.
Yeah.
A lot of people have adopted it and made really good acquisitions from it.
Yeah. So yeah, so as far as acquisitions go, the other side of it is selling, right? Like and a lot of you guys know that I'm seriously considering selling my business in the next probably year or 2 years. So what should I do between now and then, right? Maybe hire somebody like Jonathan and have him help come in and help organize our business a little better, get our P&Ls and our balance sheets looking better, right? Have that net profit. I know in the window cleaning industry, in a lot of industries, what you hear, you're going to pay 3 to 5 times net, right? But if you have recurring customers, if you have signed contracts, those are something that's going to add a lot of value, a lot more value to your business, right?
Mhm.
And I'm sure everybody here realizes that or knows that. But I know for many years when I ran my businesses, I'm like, I don't sign contracts. I want the customer to think, I'm working hard for them and this and that. But that's actually not a good move if I want to sell my business. I should have some signed contracts, at least the big ones, right? Residentials, I don't know. Does anybody here do signed contracts with residentials?
We do maintenance plans, which is a multiplier and MRR for us.
Did you get that from Jason Evers or?
I'm sure I heard it from somebody else. It might have been Jason Evers, but I have nothing original, so I got it from somebody.
Yeah, it's always shared information. I love it. Does anybody else do signed contracts for residential?
Just for
We
Christmas
do the
lights.
same like maintenance plans, but with ours, they got to prepay for the plan to get a discount. So they'll like prepay for the year and then get a bit of a discount.
So explain to me, maybe Jonathan or Nick, your maintenance plan. Is it like it's recurring every month or what?
For ours, it's a recurring fee every month. I think there's a couple tiers. And what they do is they get a discount on services priority scheduling. They also get free, I think it's a gutter cleaning in the spring or fall. They can choose. So they kind of get some value with it, but it's one of those recurring kind of things.
Okay. How about you guys, Nick? Is it kind of the same?
Mine, I do it a little differently. So we just like pick all the services that they want for the year. So typically it's like semi-annually or quarterly, and then we put a price together for that, put a 10% discount on it and get them to prepay everything. Then everything's pre-booked. It's kind of like priority scheduling too, because typically we're selling these like early in the year, like February, March-ish. So we'll pre-book them for the whole year. The way we kind of market it is like, it's one phone call, you get everything done for the year. Automations kick in to remind you when the appointments are coming and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we do on our side. I've been considering a monthly membership style too, because we do snow removal and Christmas lights. So like keeping it going all year, keeping a monthly fee coming in. Just haven't really figured that out yet.
Yeah. So, and then also like, when you get to a certain dollar amount threshold, your multiplier is going to be bigger, right? If you have a small business, you're under $1 million, you're probably only going to get like 3 times net, plus your assets, right? So if you have some assets, then there's some value there too. But if you're over $5 to $10 million, you can start pushing, 5 times net, 6, 7, 8 times net. I met with I didn't really meet. It was kind of a informal meeting with a national company who was really looking at our business. And he's like, dude, your business is amazing. Like if you're going to ask us 7 or 8 times your net, we'd probably be okay with that. So he was kind of telling me up front, like, we really want to buy you out. Right. And it's fun to say no to that. That's kind of a bummer. Like when you have a house, you can pull equity out of your house. Right. But when you have a business, like it's got a lot of value, but you can't just like pull equity out of it. Right. I still think we should have another show someday on commercial credit versus business or personal credit for your business and business credit for your business. Does anybody here use personal credit on their business? some people. Yeah, that's I learned that a long time ago. Jonathan and I were talking about that the other day. Like, just I actually went and finally bought myself a new truck. They didn't even ask for my social security number. It was fantastic, right? That's a cool feeling. But anyway, getting a little bit off the topic. So another thing is, as far as acquiring, like your business name, right? If your business name, like I live in Phoenix, my business name isn't Phoenix Window Cleaning or Phoenix Window Cleaners, right? If I want to expand and grow into Las Vegas, it'd be really weird having a Phoenix Window Cleaning company in Las Vegas, right? So the names of your business, I don't think anybody's business name is after their city, right? Nobody, right? Yours is, Nelly?
Yeah, I bought it like that, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's too bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of something like when you start, it sounds all cool and all, but then you tap out, you max out your city. The other part about acquiring too is who's going to run it for you. So we've had success within our company is when people work for us for 2 years or longer, we say to them, we want you to go run your own city. We want you to achieve more, to have more opportunity. So they say, man, my boss is literally going to go buy another business and let me run it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm going to keep working for this guy. Right. So we have a little bit less turnover. We give the guys the dream of kind of being their own man, being their own boss, running their own show. And then like once you do all that and you land a city and then you got to move people, then it becomes a little hectic and a little chaotic. Because now you got to find, is there a building attached? Do you need to go rent a building? So the business we bought in Prescott, there was no building. So we just bought it. And then we were like, oh my gosh, like to find a garage to rent was really difficult. And I don't exactly remember if I think we found the garage after we bought the business. So that was probably bad, right? It was probably the wrong way to do it. And we're still paying for that, right? And is he the right guy? Like, do you have the right guy to go run that? If it's not in your city, if it's outside of your city, like you better make sure it's somebody you trust. Because you can buy a business and you can, keep the owner around for a little bit to help you run it and transition. And that's, always advisable, especially you want to get an introduction to, some of your customers and your clients. But if you're going to run it internally, or if you're going to run it in a remote city, somebody there better be somebody you really trust. And then you have to set up expectations to begin with. Like, hey, if your revenues are this, and if your COGS are within this range, then there's extra money to bonus you or to pay you. Like we pay all of our guys in our remote cities a 3% bonus on all sales, but then they get another bonus based on where their COGS are at. If their COGS are under 45%, then they're going to get another like 3% bonus. So they're motivated to keep the costs down. They're motivated to bring in more money. And then I don't do any of it, which is beautiful, right? I did actually acquire my first business in Flagstaff. I acquired it many years ago. I don't talk about it much because I've had it for so long. I've had it over 20 years. I did do a mistake there when I bought it too, was when the owner sold it to me, which was a friend of mine. It was a pretty easy sale. He let me make him payments. It was pretty easy, pretty cool. But I didn't have him literally take me to the big important contracts and introduce me to the people who were running them. So we had a big hotel and a couple other jobs. And I remember being young then, and a little bit shy, a little bit bashful, and I'll just show up and clean the windows. And then I expected that the relationship would transfer over. Well, a couple of customers dropped me really quick and just went to another vendor. And I'm like, man, why did I lose that job? Well, because I had no idea who I was servicing, right? So a big part of it is once you acquire that customer, like when we acquired the one we did in Flagstaff back in October, I told Mitch, I'm like, Mitch, you need to go talk to this customer, that customer, and literally go talk to them all. I stayed out of them all because the people up there knew me as the other owner of the other company, but I knew that was important because of my mistake before. Does anybody have any other mistakes they want to share? Because it's nice to learn from others, right? Nick? Yeah.
I was just going to speak to what you mentioned earlier about making sure you do your due diligence on the profitability of all avenues of the business. So when we bought the small one, we didn't dive into, is the residential division also profitable? So basically when we bought it, the commercial work made up for losses in the residential side. The residential he just had for cash flow and keeping the guys working while they were waiting for the commercial job to go, which was, you know, a couple weeks a month. Good income, but it made up for that. So yeah, we've been increasing the prices on all those jobs, losing customers because of it, but we're effectively having to double the prices on them because he was basically giving away all that work at a loss or at cost.
I agree with you on that. Yep.
So do your due diligence.
I know in my business currently, like our airport contract, we make so much money on that. I always say it covers all of our sins everywhere else. And that's kind of a crappy way to run the business, right? So a few months ago, I sat down with our general manager. I'm like, look, dude, we need the job costing on every job every single day. And it wasn't like, it was kind of implied that we were doing it. And I think we were doing it. My father was in charge of it, and he was always like 2 months behind. Like if we wanted to know what job costing was back in February, he could tell me. I'm like, dude, it's March. It doesn't mean no good, right? Like you've probably already done the job 2 or 3 times since then and lost money 2 or 3 more times. But yeah, we definitely had that problem in our business. We have one big job that covers all the sins for everything else. What if I lost that job? You know, what if that job's gone? Now I'm completely hosed, right? So, Angela, you said you acquired a business? As I ask you as you're choking.
I did. When I started my dance studio, I acquired a gymnastics business, which we've talked about, turned into an adventure because I had no idea, was ignorant about the liability insurance of all the gymnastics equipment and indoor trampolines and things like that. At 23, I didn't research that enough. It turned out to be great. It all worked out in the end.
Yeah.
But you know, in retrospect, I probably would have, if I knew what I knew when I bought the business, I would have just stuck with the dance studio and not had all that crazy liability and insurance stuff going on.
So let's talk about finding the money to acquire a business. Does anybody have any thoughts on this? Jonathan, I'd love to hear, where do you find the money to acquire a business?
So it can come from a couple of different ways. You can go to the seller and talk to them about seller carry. So they are deferring a lot of their taxes, especially if they get a big lump. They're going to have some tax liability they may not be prepared to deal with. And if they do a seller carry, you can do that and then also give them a little bit of upside on future growth, things like that. Makes it a little bit more sexy for them. Sometimes they do want a chunk down. For example, the ones that we're purchasing in Washington, each of those owners are going to want anywhere between $1 million and $1.5 million cash down. So you're thinking, my God, where do I get $1 million? How I get the $1 million is through just relationships partners that can help fund it. And that can be debt financing, that can be minority equity, you know, different creative ways that you can do to capture that money. The other is bank financing. You can go to your bank with a business plan on this business and they're liable to take that risk. Especially like the ones we're acquiring, they've got like $1 million in accounts receivable, probably 1.5 in FFE, and then about $500,000 in the bank. So you're already sitting on some pretty good assets there. And especially if it's coming with real estate, that your bank might be willing to lend on that. And then the least, I guess, best option is SBA, just going to the SBA for a loan.
Yeah, the SBA.
Why would you say that's the least?
Because it's so much freaking paperwork.
Okay, yeah.
And time. It takes a lot of time too.
A lot of time. You got to prove a lot of stuff. They want your blood type and all kinds of stuff. So it's a pretty big rectal exam.
Yeah. And
So I've
collateral.
heard. Yeah. Oh, lots of collateral. You're personally guaranteed on stuff. There's a lot of downside to that.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're selling your business, the downside of carrying the note is, you know, what if the buyer doesn't pay? You know, like on a house, you can hold the deed, right? You can hold the mortgage until, you know, that's paid. So, you know, how do you make sure or ensure that the new buyer is actually paying their payments?
So if you're selling, if you're the one selling and they want you to carry the note, you can have clawback in the contract. So you get the business back if there's a certain default period. You can attach yourself to assets, immediate accounts receivable, things like that, where you can actually claw back and grab money. And then you want to have the person that you're selling to do a personal guarantee on that, and then have that as a legal setup. You want your attorney to review a what's called a PFS. It's a personal financial statement, to make sure that they can personally carry that kind of note.
Great info.
Claw back to their house and things like that.
And their kids, right? And their kids.
Yeah, I mean, kids are going kind of cheap right now in the form
Yeah, I
of
heard that.
slave labor is not great. Right now.
Yeah, you just reminded me of another thing to be aware of. Speaking of mistakes, is if they're selling you on big AR, make sure the AR comes with the business.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people will say, I'm keeping everything that was produced up until this time.
Yeah,
You
I
made
didn't
that
take
mistake when you
AR
first bought.
with the last company I bought. I didn't take any of the AR. I think that's kind of uncommon to take the AR. But
Yeah, that's why I said make sure if
Yeah.
they're selling you on that. Yeah.
yeah, you definitely, I mean, and hiring a business attorney, like hands down, like, I mean, we can sit in this group and we all have a lot of experience and practice, but you know, when you get emotionally attached to something you really want or really like, you know, you can have this, you know, this big wow and forget something like AR or forget the little stuff. And like Jonathan said, you know, make sure, you know, like business funding, they always attach to AR and to the business assets. So I've got lots of lines of credit and stuff in my business, and they're all attached to my AR. Like, and it's actually like some businesses talk about, we're getting into a different topic here, but some businesses like, ooh, I don't want anybody to owe me money. That's why I do all residential, you know. However, you know, if your AR, the higher your AR is in your business, the bigger line of credit a bank will give you, because they know that's money coming into your bank. So as my AR has increased in my business, so has my line of credits. So it's not a bad thing to have AR.
Yep.
Collecting on AR is a bad thing.
It's tough, especially if you're a new owner.
Yeah.
A couple other things that we've found interesting in some of the deals is finding out if they have applied for the ERC credits already. Because if they haven't, and you kind of ask it in a very quick, hey, PPP ERC, you know, and then they're just like, oh yeah, we did PP, it was forgiven. I don't even know what ERC is. Okay, no problem. And you move on. Because then you can go back and file, because you know, you can find, depending on the size of the company, $1-2 million, just like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought AR is that you're buying the entity, right? Like because it follows the entity.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Because we
You
looked
agree
into
with
that.
buying the entity?
Yeah, because you could do how you could structure it is you do an asset sale and then an entity sale that are separate.
Oh, that
so that
makes sense.
you can detach them.
Interesting. Yeah, because buying from a sole prop, we looked into the ERC, and it would have just gone to. I'm not going to do all that effort just for them to send money back to the old owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the ERC, like we made more money every quarter over the 2019 period. So originally we didn't qualify, but then we have government contracts that paid us less because of COVID. So according to the new rules, we are available to get that money. Supposedly, we'll see.
Fake money anyway. So
yeah,
real to us, but
yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah, it'd be really cool to get ERC. You were talking about business or bank financing. So if a bank is going to finance an acquisition for you, the numbers are going to have to line up, right? So do your due diligence on the numbers. You know, hire an accountant if you don't have an accountant, or use your accountant to look at the business's numbers, their P&L and their balance sheet. Because their numbers are off, their numbers aren't right, the bank's not going to finance you. That's kind of how I got the business in Flagstaff. I originally wanted to buy it, and he was selling to another buyer, and he was asking way too much. And we told him he was asking too much, and we came in with a much lower offer. And he didn't even tell us no. He just like, I'm selling to somebody else. Well, it took 3 or 4 months because this guy was trying to get a bank loan for what he was asking, and the bank would not finance him because he didn't have the right financials to support what he was asking. So his assets and his financials did not support his asking price. We were lucky and we had cash, so I didn't need to have a bank tell me yes or no. And I still think I overpaid a little bit for what it was valued at that time, but I also know the way we run our business, and my guy who was running it, my business partner in it, is we know how to do what we do, and it's been an absolute jackpot since we bought it. So bank financing is good, and everybody's got to have the right business bank too. Like, you don't just go walk into Wells Fargo or Chase unless you really have a relationship with them. I've found I had a smaller business bank probably 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, and I thought they were awesome. But then they kind of stopped working for me and working against me, and it was really fun. I actually got to fire a bank. I had to tell a bank no, and they were begging me to stay, and I'm like, nope, I've outgrown you. That was a really cool feeling because banks told me no in my entire 20s of life. I wish I could have told them no 100 times for all the times to make it up. But I found another better business bank. So there are some business banks out there that absolutely love doing business banking. So if you don't have a business bank, like, I highly recommend it. And then I have 2 banks. Actually, one of my Jonathan, Jeremiah Green, right?
Yeah.
I thought you knew him. So when I bought his business, $90,000 was the sale price. I literally just got a Chase Inc. credit card with a $50,000 line of credit. 0% interest for 12 months. So I'm like, sweet, I got 50 grand, 0%. I'm using this sucker. So I used 50,000 of that Chase credit card to buy that business. It was 0% for 12 months. So, like, when you find cool stuff like that, man, take it, right? And it wasn't a personal credit card, so it didn't go on my credit score. What did I care, right? So as long as I paid it back, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else got something to add here? Any other thoughts? Or Angela, I don't know if you know this, but I want to give something away today. Am I allowed?
What are we giving away today?
Does somebody want something free today, or yes? Or no? Yes. Is that a yes or a yes? Raise your hand.
Yeah. Said if
Absolutely.
it's free, give me 3.
If it's Angela's paycheck, I want it.
I want to make sure I got everybody here. Okay, so I've got David, I got Sandy, Nick. Anthony just jumped on. How are you, Anthony?
Yeah, I don't count. I got on too late. I'm sorry.
Should we throw him in or not, guys? I think we should throw him in.
Oh, man.
He made the effort.
Man, he's
Yeah.
good. We had a nice meeting with Anthony yesterday. Yeah.
There you go.
I did, Miss Karen. Yes.
All that matters. Okay.
We had a tenant move out, so we're having to do cleaning in the house before the new tenant moves in. So.
So
We just got another one. Another person just joined, Dave.
Who's that? Rob?
Rob.
Rob who? Anderson?
The only
Rob that matters.
Is it Rob Anderson? No, don't put that name down there.
Let me see. Is that Rob? Just snuck in at the last moment? Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You snuck in just in time for the drawing.
Yeah, dude. I said, should we give something away for free? And everybody's saying yes. And then here comes Rob. I love your timing.
He heard it. He was like, what am I going to get? Yeah, put his name
Love
in.
your timing. All right, so I'm going to share my screen just so you guys can see how fair this is. Okay, I got everybody right. Let me know if your name's not on here. I got David, Sandy, Nick, Antonio, Nelly, Trevor, JC, Nick. Oh, this is Nick in Canada. Jonathan, Anthony, and Rob. I got everybody right. So when I hit randomize, the person on top. Oh, Angela, you don't even know what we're giving away.
No, what are we giving away?
Angela's paycheck. Yes. We'll give away a free event ticket to Collaborate Live. So you're not going to have to pay for your registration to our event in October. Does that sound cool?
Sweet.
We don't know the price yet, but it's a couple $100, so that's cool. All right, so let me hit randomize. Winner is Sandy. What?
Sandy.
You get a free hotel? And, oh, that is awesome. So,
That's hilarious.
there you go.
Sandy's now got a free
second.
room and an event ticket.
Yeah. Or Sadie. Well, Sadie Sadie gets the
I'll share with Sadie, okay? How's that?
I saw that. I wasn't gonna correct David because you know me, but I knew it was Sandy.
Anytime,
I
well,
wasn't gonna do it. I'm not like that on Facebook.
I don't know if people know this, but Karen is the spelling bee champion of her state when she was younger.
When I was little.
And every time I'm on a Zoom and I'm trying to type something in her presence, I always type something wrong, just like time, Angela. I can't figure it out. So Karen's like, no. So that's what I do. I just type things wrong. What is our topic?
So do we want to talk about the event a little bit? Just to,
Oh, yeah, let's talk about it.
So we are finalizing the details for the event. We hope to launch those out to you in the next week, but we do have those dates finalized and our venue finalized. It's where ResponsiCon has been at the Crown
Plaza.
So we'll kick off with a welcome reception. It's going to be really awesome on Sunday night, and then all day Monday and part of the day on Tuesday. So great meals, great events. A special event we'll be announcing on Monday night as well. And then in addition to speakers, we're going to have a lot of great collaborate and implement sessions that you'll be working together with people, collaborating with other businesses, collaborating with experts that have presented, and then working on implementing the ideas. And we just talked about some of those so that you leave with those things done. Like one of the ones we were working on just for the event that I'm excited for people to work on is really, defining your value proposition. So hopefully we make that one of them. So not only learning what that is and somebody speaking about it from the stage, but the opportunity to go home with some of your things already in action. So lots of fun things. And I love creating magic at events. So there'll be lots of surprises. Lots of great surprises coming too, but we'll have that, hopefully have that registration information and things out for sponsors and speakers next week.
Very nice. Yeah. Angela's working really hard on that. So thank you, Angela. We're going to make it a little bit like ResponsiCon too, where we're going to do like some live collaborating. We got a couple people on our team, Travis. A lot of you guys know Travis, and we got another guy on our team named Max. And the three of us have been putting together this really cool package to like kind of blow you guys away. I don't want to reveal what it quite is yet, but Angela knows it's pretty cool. So we're going to have fun with it. It's going to be a really good time. So it's going to be October 8th. The night
9th and 10th.
8th, 9th, and like a half a day on the 10th. Cool,
Yep.
cool.
So just starting with an evening, a welcome reception on the 8th. And there's some of you, we designed the timing of the event. It's a little bit different than most, but we designed it around PWCA, something.
PWNA?
Something.
All right. PWNA.
Some kind of conference the rest
Nick's
of the
laughing. He's like.
So it should be fun. And there will be the $25,000 giveaway at the event. So
Yeah, that's the biggest reason to come, right?
keep getting on live with us. You get points every time you share, comment, like on Collaborate Live, collaborate on social media. So be interactive in the group, do those things.
Yeah, that's really easy to post a comment or say a like, and it's an easy 1 point, super easy 1 point, right?
Yes.
And thanks for being a guest today, David. Nelly, it was really nice having you on. Hopefully we added some value.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to coming back to another one for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So
You were great, man.
Yeah, we have great topics coming up. Dave, anywhere you'll be in the live, my next chance to find me in the live is I'll be in New Orleans the first week of May.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have any travel plans coming up. I'm going to Nashville.
10th through the 13th.
10th through the 13th.
That's when
Covering for me again.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Jonathan's actually going to be here May 10th. So he I guess decided to come this way. That's cool.
Yeah.
Guys, well, God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. It was nice hanging out with you guys. Thanks for showing up.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys.
Good to see you guys.
Really good seeing you
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
See ya.
Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
David,
Good
I
evening,
got
everybody.
questions for you. He's already
Yeah.
gone. Is he in the group? I need to add David.
David Hamill.
Yes. Wasn't he the one talking about doing the McDonald's last year or this year that they're
Oh
paying?
yeah, that was David. Yeah.
Okay, I signed up for the Apex Accelerators and I got my meeting with that guy. from my local one. I just need to talk to him about how to get in. My last McDonald's guys, the owner is doing their own landscaping himself. Like they're cheap.
Cool.
So I need to find a different angle.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Do you want me to send you his information?
If you don't mind,
Okay.
I'm try to reach out to him and just figure out a different angle to approach them because these guys are not interested in anything. They don't have no one do anything for them.
That is crazy. I couldn't imagine an owner would be doing something himself.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought he was a landscaper, and he's like, "Man, no, I own it." I was like, "Oh," I was asking for this. He's like, "Man, I'd take care of it myself." And I was like, "Okay."
Wow, that's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
He owns 3 of them. And I was like, "I'm pretty sure you make over $1 million per store." So I don't know.
Yeah, some people don't know how to delegate, man. That's sad. I love delegating because it gives me more time to do other stuff, right?
To build your company, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, yeah,
So-
I got you right here. What's it? Well, since I got you on, what's the best email for you so I don't have to look it up?
sales@americanservicesar.com.
Okay. I'll shoot you an email. I'll give you David's info. Cool.
Thank y'all.
That's what I
David.
love,
Thank you.
man. People collaborating. I love it. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, no, it makes it good there. I said I had a good meeting with Karen and Travis yesterday, and then I still want to pick your mind over more government work contract stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Government contracts are fantastic for sure.
Well, I got the federal bankruptcy building for putting in a bid for soft washing. I got the window cleaning on it, but there's 8 more federal buildings in the state of Arkansas, so I'm gonna get them going.
Man, I love it. Love it.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to
Bye.
see you, Miss Karen. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day, Anthony. We'll see you. Bye, Karen.